Hello, everyone. My name is Charmaine, and I'm the registered dietitian that helps people reverse type 2 diabetes with plant-based eating. And here I have Elizabeth with me, or you can call her Beth as well. You can say hi to everyone, Elizabeth.
I,
Amazing. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for hopping on here. So, what made you reach out to us in the first place?
I think really the final thing was that I had developed diabetes, and for a year I had tried to get rid of it on my own. My father had had diabetes, and it just progressed, and he ended up on insulin, and that just was not something that I wanted. So, after a year of working to get it down, I had my numbers down some, but not enough. And I was really just getting desperate, and I really hated the medications that I had to take for diabetes because it would cause these really low blood sugar dips, and that really interfered with my quality of life. And I knew that traditional programs, reduced calorie, drugs, other types of diets that involved like counting things, didn't work for me. So actually, I saw you in TikTok, and I did a little more reading, and I just decided to take a chance.
Amazing, amazing. And when you mentioned that you've tried other things before to lower it, if you don't mind sharing, what have you tried before and what were the results before you joined the program?
Well, the irony is that all the things that I'm doing were not the things I should have been doing. I was trying to cut out my carbs and not eat desserts and things like that, but it was a drop in the bucket of what needed to be done because I had some other health problems as well. I also had fatty liver. I also had debilitating arthritis, high cholesterol, and I was like, I thought I knew what I was doing. And then after I watched some of your videos, I knew that what I was doing was kind of in the right direction, but it didn't have to be as hard as I was making it on myself. And I thought the problem was me. I thought the problem was that I was weak and, unmotivated. So a big part of this for me has been not just healing my body, but healing my relationship with food.
Can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. I was a dancer when I was young.
I love that.
There's a lot of pressure to be thin from that community, as well as just, from my parents. And that was just a big attitude. So even though I didn't really need to, I had been dieting and feeling like my body was coming up short since I was about 15 years old. So, I've done all of them, all of them. I've done all the drugs, all the diets, and every time I felt miserable and I, would lose weight and then I would gain it back. And then let's try the next magic thing. And I wish I had known about this 30 years ago and I could have really had a different life, I think.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And what would you say is your motivation to do this? Because I know it's quite drastic and, I wouldn't say drastic, but it's very different from what was taught, right? Because what you were taught was to cut carbs and to, just count calories. And this is very different from that because there's no, counting calories, you're eating more carbs. So, what was your motivation to do so?
Well, it was very exciting in my first meeting to have someone say to me, eat as much as you want. You should not be hungry. And you're not going to count things. And I was just like, what? That's crazy. That's different from anything I've ever heard. But also, I had become a vegetarian about 4 years before.
Right.
And really kind of was always a wannabe vegan. But my efforts to be a vegetarian, to be a vegan, I was always like a junk food vegan. So what I wanted to do was embrace my values along those lines with my feelings about animals and the environment and things like that. But then also in doing so, like, to honor my body and take care of my body the best way I could. And so, I just felt sick all the time. Like I said, in addition to having terrible, I had terrible arthritis, high cholesterol, reflux, headaches, high liver numbers. And I just wanted to take back control and heal my body for good. And that's what I have been able to do.
Yeah. That's amazing. Can you share a little bit more about, your journey of, your whole transformation of how you changed your habits and, how you feel?
Really early on, my husband and I decided we were just going to really lean into this change, and we were just going to give it 100%. And so the first thing we did was take the advice of just making our house a clean zone. I have the most beautiful pantry. Very proud of it. I post pictures all the time.
Yes.
And then the other thing is my husband and I started cooking. And we'd always cooked before, but not at this level. So we really started, doing the research, learning how to cook in this way, working with my coach, looking at recipes and having her say, like, okay, well, like, for example, chia seeds, those are healthy, but they've got the fat in them. So, be careful with that. And, just kind of learning to make adjustments. And so I think the point where we really turned the corner was when we used the recipe book you gave us to cook a full Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah,
and
that's amazing.
It's just the two of us. All of our children are grown. So we just kind of leaned into it. And then initially we kind of went into it thinking like, oh, well, every once in a while we'll still eat cheese. Or one of our big things was that we always ate a cheese lasagna on Christmas. And it was right after Thanksgiving that my husband kind of looked at me and said, I don't want to eat a cheese lasagna for Christmas. Wow. And I'm like, me neither. Wow. So I made a vegan lasagna and it was fantastic. And so it's almost become, it definitely has become a hobby and something that we really enjoy, a really fun, positive part of our life, finding these recipes and thinking about things that I'm craving and then trying to figure out a way to make those in a healthy way. And I really enjoy the food. Honest to goodness, I really enjoy the food. There's only been a couple things that we've made that we've been like, not the greatest, but that's true in all things. So learning to cook and really learning about the food and what's in it and what it does, it really gave us the confidence to not just live this way, but like really lean into it and enjoy it.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I think it's definitely very exciting to, see that you came from a place that, food was just, kind of like a struggle to where now you actually enjoy it and, it brings you joy and it's your hobby and you love cooking and, you genuinely want to, eat healthy and, to nourish your body. So it's definitely very exciting to hear that. And what would you say are some of the results that you've been seeing?
Oh gosh, it's, truly life-changing. Well, first of all, within 2 weeks, I was able to quit taking my glipizide, which is what I was taking for diabetes, because my blood sugar was stabilizing so much that I started having these terrible dips. And I called my doctor and I said, this is what I'm doing. And he said, well, then let's quit taking the medicine and see how it goes. So I think it was 3 weeks into it that I went to the doctor and my blood sugar had dropped from a 7 to a 6.4. And within 3 weeks, my cholesterol was already looking better. Things were just looking a lot better. And we started cutting out a lot of the pills. The bigger thing that I was not expecting at all was how much better my arthritis was.
Wow.
For example, 2 Christmases ago, I took I have 4 little nephews. I took them to King's Dominion at Christmas, and I could barely get around. Like I could walk maybe 20, 30 steps and then I would have to sit down because I'd be in so much pain. This year, I walked all over King's Dominion with those boys and felt great. So waking up in the morning and not having those pains and aches, that was something that happened really quickly. Then another thing was, like I said, after years of dieting and restricting, binging, to have my normal cues of hunger and fullness return, and to recognize the difference between hunger and cravings, which the cravings went away pretty quickly too, and recognize that hunger is a good thing. That's your body's way of saying, hey, like, let's fill up the tank. And then eating to that beautiful level of fullness where you feel satisfied, but not like you're going to be sick. And so along those lines, I was able to quit taking my reflux medicine pretty quickly because I just wasn't having a problem with that anymore. So I just went to my doctor last week and did my blood. My A1C is down to 6.
Wow.
And she said, I really think that, within another month or 2, you're going to be fine. My liver has totally healed itself. After years with fatty liver, my liver is completely normal. The numbers are great. My cholesterol is normal. I've lost over 30 pounds. I sleep better. I have more energy. My mood is better. I don't have as many migraine headaches. In fact, I really don't have any. And I've gone from taking 14 pills a day down to 4.
Wow.
So I just feel like a whole new person. And like I said, I think within a month, I said, if this is what I have to do to feel this way, I'm on board. There is no going back for me now. This is the way we eat now. And even, like I said, pretty early on, I really appreciated the opportunity for flexible eating. But pretty early on, flexible eating to me just meant maybe I might eat something with a little more fat or, that's a little bit more processed or whatever. I never stopped eating plant-based foods.
Yeah.
So yeah, the changes have just been profound.
Wow. I love this. I think as hearing you talk, and I always say this, but I literally have goosebumps coming up. And I think what's the most encouraging thing is just how you feel. Yes, numbers are amazing. I mean, first of all, you're actually eating more carbs, right? Like you're not cutting carbs, you're eating more, you're eating till you're full and you're not counting calories. You're just letting full reign and you're getting off glipizide, which is a very strong medication. You're getting off all these medications and eating more carbs and you're lowering your A1C, which is fantastic. But I think the greatest thing is seeing you find your life back and just that excitement of, wow, like I can go and walk and I can live life to the full. I can be with my family, and I can, I actually enjoy the way I feel. And I think that's the thing, even for me too, with flexible meal, it's not that I can't have those things. I can if I want to, but I just love the way I feel on this lifestyle. So I just love that you shared that because I think this is so powerful and so profound where you finally find freedom in this and in how you feel, not just in numbers, but just, a life transformation. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
There were some things that you said in the modules that were really just sort of aha moments for me. That again went a long way towards healing this relationship with food. And, the first thing was something you said when you were talking about Thanksgiving and you were like, okay, what is your must have? Okay, if there's something you absolutely have to have, then eat it, but try to build your whole food plant-based around it. And so initially, I really did say like, well, if I really want it, I'm going to eat it. But the other thing was, and again, this was another huge moment. My husband and I were downtown and our favorite pizza place was across the street. And we were kind of talking about getting some lunch and I was kind of looking at it thinking, And I remembered you don't tell yourself you can't have it. Just tell yourself that this isn't going to be the best thing for you right now. And at that point, it was pretty early on, but I had really started to feel the effects with my arthritis and feeling so much better. And I thought, is that piece of pizza going to be so delicious that it's going to be worth hurting in the morning? And I thought, it's not. But if I ever decide I want a piece of pizza, I'll have one. And so far, I have not. I don't see myself after, learning what I've learned. I don't see myself ever eating dairy again. I guess if something happened and I did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But it was just kind of giving yourself that space to say, if you really want to eat it, and then, work around it. But really think about, why do you want it? And what is that going to do for you versus what your goals are? And for me, when you do that and you look at the science behind it, it takes a lot of the emotion and the guilt and the pressure out of eating. And that's what I mean when I say that I healed my relationship with food, because food no longer became about an emotional crutch or good food, bad foods, things that made me weak or whatever. Food became about, I'm working to heal my body so I can feel better. And like last night I couldn't sleep and I got up and I got this big bowl of raspberries and it was so delicious. And I was like, I can't believe I was ever told that I couldn't eat, fruits and things like bananas and potatoes that I had been taught were not good. And now these are all part of my diet and I love it. So it's been great.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear that. I just how your relationship with food has healed, because I have the similar journey where, I was told this is not good, that's not good. And I feel like now I don't even think about those things anymore. Now I'm like, what? I used to think that way. And I feel like that's kind of like how you feel right now, right? Like you just see food as fuel, not as like bad or good, or you just see like, it's simple, it's scientific, it's fuel, I know what's good for me. And I think the most amazing thing is too, yes, your focus here is to reverse your diabetes, but look at, how your liver health turn around, like look at how your arthritis turn around, your cholesterol turn around. It just, everything falls into place. So I'm just so excited for you. I'm just so proud of you and just so cool to see how, transformation just took place in your life. So, what would you say to someone that's kind of on the fence about reversing diabetes with a plant-based diet? What would you say to them, to encourage them in a way?
Well, when we were talking about, the cost of the program and the investment, I said to my husband, diabetes is only going to make me sicker and get more expensive down the road. So invest in your health and make the changes that can help you to live a better life. For me, I decided that there were certain things I was never going to eat again, but allow yourself the latitude to sort of find your comfort zone. But then also I want to say that although it is a big change, I have told people it was not a difficult one. It was such a fun and positive change. They're going to enjoy their food. They're going to enjoy the way they feel. And this is really the secret, and it's totally doable. And I started right before the holidays. I started October 21st, and initially I was like, well, I guess I've just ruined the holidays. And I'm so wrong, because by the time the new year started, I was a new person.
Wow.
So don't wait for an optimal time or that. Just do it now. And I'm promising within 2 weeks, you are going to feel so much better in so many little ways. And the weight is just a small part of it. Because, there would be times when the scale wouldn't move, but I would have these dramatic other changes. And so when you're, we all want to lose weight, but when you look at the whole picture of your health, there's so much more than what your scale or your body fat says. Like for example, that my liver is completely healthy now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people who are the size I would like to be, whose livers aren't healthy. I mean, weight is just one thing. And then another great thing that my coach said to me that was so helpful is, I and many people can get a little weird about the scale, but you can also get a little weird about taking your blood sugar. And that is a tool. And depending on a lot of things beyond just what you ate that day, it could be your stress level, are you fighting something, are you, whatever. There's so much more that goes into those numbers. So just think about how you feel and try not to obsess so much with your data. Yeah. Try to really enjoy the process.
Yeah, I love that. I think like focusing on different victories is, it's actually what's going to keep you going, because a lot of times, your weight, it could be because you ate, more fiber and there's more, water weight, or, with blood sugar, it could be because, you're on a period and, it could be the hormones. And so I think a lot of times it's focusing on what's working, and then the overall picture. Look at you, you've lowered your A1C, got off your medications, you've lost 30 pounds through the process. Like when you look at the picture, you're like, whoa, that's huge. But I do think that it takes the daily, being grateful for the small victories. So and it's not small victories, it's big victories. So I just love what you shared. And I just think it's amazing where you're at and how, this story is going to change a lot of people's lives. And it's true, when you invest in your health, you're going to save so much more, not just monetary, but just save so much more pain from your life. And, what's most important in life is just how you feel. And, it's about time, having more time, having more fun with your family, and even the holidays, right? You thought you were in holidays, but no, like you feel like a new person. And now you can, actually enjoy the holidays and not spend it, just tired and sick, right? You can actually enjoy it. So I love that. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience? Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I guess another thing that was very helpful for me was really learning why these foods are presented, these processed foods that are presented as healthy are not. Because when you learn that there's oil added to everything and sugar added to everything, even foods that are presented as being healthy, you really don't stand a chance to live a healthy lifestyle, because it's just in everything. It literally is in everything. So, really learn about your food, watch cooking shows, look up recipes online, tinker with them. Treat it like a big science experiment, and it'll really just change your life. My life is forever changed, and just mentally, physically, spiritually, everything, for doing this program. And I'm so grateful. And again, when I first started telling people, oh, I found her on TikTok, that sounds so crazy, but that's how people find stuff out now. And the thing is, between the time I saw you on TikTok and that I actually signed up, it was a couple months, because like I said, I was trying to do this on my own. But just invest in your health, invest in your life, and it will be the best investment that you ever make.
Oh, you're so amazing. I just love what you shared. And I think I thank God every day that I get to meet people like you over TikTok. It's the craziest thing. And, I didn't know I would be on TikTok as well, but it's so cool just to meet people like you and just to be able to be a part of the change. I love that, you also want to be a part of, our team, and just encourage other people and just to spread the word, because this is the secret. I think a lot of people are missing out on the real solution. And when they actually hear your story about how your life has transformed, I'm sure, they'll be inspired to do the same too. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. And
Thank you.
I hope that you have a great day. And thank you so much for everyone who are watching. If you are interested in learning more about what we're talking about in reversing diabetes, you can go to the link in the description to watch the free training. And if you're interested in joining our 3-month coaching program that Elizabeth was sent as well, you can also book a call with us to see if you're a great fit. But so thank you so much, Elizabeth, and I'll talk to you soon, and have a wonderful day, everyone.